All right, good morning. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Tom Evers. I'm the Executive Director of the Minneapolis Parks Foundation, and it's an honor to speak to you all today to share some great news. First off, I want to just say something about the Minneapolis Parks Foundation. On behalf of the board of the Minneapolis Parks Foundation, we are thrilled to be here with General Mills and the city and the park board to accept this gift. The park board is an independent nonprofit that serves as the voice of the private sector. We bring resources and philanthropy to support innovation and equity for the Minneapolis park system. It's our mission to ensure economic, environmental, civic, cultural, and physical health of Minneapolis to create the next generation of parks. The Minneapolis Parks Foundation is the primary philanthropic partner of the Park and Rec Board to help bring forth the River First vision. When realized, the River First vision will connect the Mississippi River to neighborhoods in North, Northeast, and downtown Minneapolis, and finalize a vision that's been 130 years coming. This work is a public-private collaboration, and there are many leaders I'd also like to recognize here as well. The board of the Minneapolis Parks Foundation, our chair, Sarah Harris, is here, and many others are here. The city of Minneapolis, the staff, the leaders, elected officials, as well as commissioners with the Minneapolis Park and Rec Board. There are other nonprofit partners too. St. Anthony Falls Heritage Board, the Minneapolis Riverfront Partnership, the Mill City Museum, the Friends of the Mississippi River, and many community members. Minneapolis is defined by our parks, but we are also defined by a legacy of corporate philanthropy, the private leaders leading the city and making generous gifts to support our city. The Minneapolis park system as we know it today was established more than 130 years ago when city leaders, including the founders of General Mills, knew and understood that a thriving city, an international city, requires a healthy, active, vibrant, equitable park system. And today, on the 150th anniversary of their founding, General Mills is carrying forth that legacy of local investment and critical philanthropy. To tell you more about this incredible, generous gift to River First, I now introduce Ken Powell, CEO and Chairman of General Mills.
Tom, thanks for the introduction. Good morning to one and all. Thank you to all of you for joining us today. So this year, as you just heard, 2016, is the 150th birthday of General Mills, and we're going to celebrate the year. And there's no better way for us to celebrate our milestone than to give a birthday gift to the very birthplace of our company, right here, the banks of the Mississippi River. All that General Mills is today ties back to this place where we stand, which is intrinsically woven into the foundation of the city. Our history is very much the city's history. We trace our roots back to the 1860s to two flour mills, the Washburn Mill and the Pillsbury A Mill, built on opposite sides of the river. Upon seeing St. Anthony Falls for the first time from a steamboat in the 1850s, our founder, Cadwallader Washburn, was stunned because he knew he was looking at something that would change the future. He saw this huge natural source of power in the falls. Washburn soon began arranging and organizing investors to raise the necessary capital to undertake the digging of new water power canal along the Mississippi River. The project would become the Minneapolis Milling Company, which controlled and leased the water power on the west side of the falls. By 1866, the first Washburn Mill was completed here on the banks of the Mississippi, and over the next decade, Washburn expanded his mill into one of the largest flour mills in the world. Meanwhile, just across the river in 1869, Charles A. Pillsbury and his father, George Pillsbury, invested in the then failing Minneapolis Flouring Mill. Over the company's first 20 years, not only did Charles Pillsbury turn the business around, he expanded it into one of the world's largest flour producers. After more than a century of competing from opposite sides of the river, our two companies would of course merge some 130 years later. Continued innovation in milling techniques and new technology throughout the 19th century positioned Minneapolis as a world-leading center of flour production, thus earning the name Mill City. But our connection to the city spans far beyond the milling industry. For example, in the early 1920s, we purchased WLAG, a local radio station, and promptly renamed it WCCO, Washburn Crosby Company. And John Pillsbury is considered to be among the founding fathers of the University of Minnesota. None of this would have been possible without the river behind us. The river enabled opportunities to take our state, our people, our businesses to entirely new realms. Flowing through 10 states on its way to the Gulf of Mexico, the mighty Mississippi enabled energy, transportation, trade, and commerce. And today it's a place where visitors and locals, young and old, come to relax, connect, exercise, sightsee, learn, and so much more. This site, St. Anthony Falls, the restored ruins of the mills we still see today, and this community where we are now, is where we got our start. It's where we made the world's best flour, the world's best cereal, where Betty Crocker and the Pillsbury Doughbury grew up. This is our home. So as we celebrate our 150th birthday, we felt it was fitting to give back to the Riverfront, a gift that will enable this area to thrive for another 150 years. The River First Initiative is the perfect opportunity for us to do just that. So I'm now going to invite my colleague Kim Nelson, General Mills Senior Vice President of External Relations and the President of the General Mills Foundation, to unveil our company's gift to the River First Initiative in commemoration of General Mills' 150th anniversary. Kim?
Thank you, Ken, and good morning to one and all. The River First Initiative is truly a once-in-a-life opportunity for General Mills to celebrate its past while also investing in the future of this community. And we are so excited to partner with the Minneapolis Parks Foundation and with the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board on the River First project. Today, I am thrilled to announce that in honor of our company's 150th birthday, the General Mills Foundation would like to give a birthday gift to the city of Minneapolis, which has nurtured us for the past 150 years. A $3 million investment in the River First Initiative. Already home to the Stone Arch Bridge, St. Anthony Falls, the Pillsbury A Mill, and the site of the original Washburn Mill and the entire Twin Cities community. It's a place well worth preserving for the present and for future generations. Our gift will support 3 marquee projects of the River First Initiative. The first is the Waterworks project on the central riverfront where General Mills and Minneapolis were born. The second, the 26th Avenue North Trail and Pier, which will reconnect our neighbors in North Minneapolis to the river for the first time in decades. And third, the renovation of Halls Island into a year-round park for all to enjoy. This initiative will transform disjointed and formerly industrial stretches of the Mississippi riverfront into an iconic destination and a fabulous community asset that will be enjoyed for decades to come. Like our company, the General Mills Foundation is deeply rooted in the banks of the Mississippi. Our founder, Cadwallader Washburn, originated our company's philanthropic tradition with actions that reflected his passion for his family, for his employees, and for his community. Sometimes it was as simple as investing in widening the sidewalks so that millers could walk side by side to work. Other charitable acts include establishing a fund for workers' families, and building an orphanage following a devastating mill explosion in 1878 that killed 18 General Mills employees. And by the way, that orphanage is still with us today, transformed over the years to become the Washburn Center for Children and currently serving 1,800 children and family with mental health support. Cadwalader also developed technology to make flour milling safer and amazingly shared that technology freely with his colleagues and his competitors to ensure that such an accident never happened again. In the decades since, we have continued to make a lasting impact in the communities we call home all over the world, contributing nearly $2 billion to charitable causes. Washburn's legacy of putting people first and treating the world with care has continued to be central to living our company's purpose of serving the world by making food that people love. And so today, we are honored to play a key role in an initiative that is so intertwined with General Mills' past, present, and future. We know that General Mills' $3 million contribution to this project will be joined by other supporters and funders from Minnesota's public and private sectors who all share the belief that this riverfront is one of our community's greatest natural assets. And since it would not be a birthday party without invitations, we invite and encourage the greater Minneapolis business community to join us in investing in this historic initiative that will give so much to this city, that has given so much to all of us. At General Mills, we look forward to enjoying this riverfront with our friends, our families, and with our beloved community for the next 150 years. And now, I would like to invite, I would like to make a gift, I'd like to give our gift to Paul Rayfelds. If we could come bring our birthday cake out here. Okay, and Paul, okay. I think we're going to take a minute and maybe take a few photographs.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Ken. Thank you all. As chair of the Riverfront Capital Campaign, I would like to express how honored and grateful we are that a legacy company, General Mills' stature, is reaffirming its commitment to our community by investing in our parks and public spaces for this generation, for many generations to follow. Your gift helps to ensure the success of waterworks, where General Mills and Minneapolis were born. And your gift will support the creation of new trails and park connections along one of our greatest natural assets, the Mississippi River. And help to develop new links with neighborhoods in both North and Northeast Minneapolis. General Mills' $3 million leadership commitment to River First brings our fundraising to just over $9 million of our $15 million goal. We are pleased with our campaign momentum, and we're very appreciative of this opportunity to participate in celebrating General Mills' 150th birthday. And we look forward to engaging many more visionary companies and individuals in sharing our passion for realizing the potential of this riverfront through the Riverfront Initiative. We enthusiastically join with Kim Nelson, inviting others in our community to help us make the River First vision a reality. The sooner the better. Yes. To tell you more about the full vision for Riverfront Parks, I give you Liz Walensky, President of the Minneapolis Park Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Paul, Kim, Ken, and Tom, and the General Mills Foundation for this fabulous donation. It's an honor to be here today and to share General Mills' birthday announcement and their generous gift to the Minneapolis Parks Foundation and the River First Initiative. I want to recognize and thank both the Foundation and General Mills for their work and commitment to the community. The Minneapolis Park System and the River First Initiative are nationally recognized today because of 133 years of visionary leadership and collaboration with public and private partners. Before I talk about River First, I want to recognize other Park Board Commissioners and public officials present. Without their ongoing support, River First would not be possible. So I'm joined here today with Commissioners Anita Tabb, Meg Forney, and Scott Vreeland, former R.T. Ryback, who's also on the Parks Foundation, and Garrison McMurtry, who's here representing Senator Klobuchar's office. In 2010, the Minneapolis Park Board partnered with the Minneapolis Parks Foundation to launch an international design competition to continue transformation of the upper riverfront. Out of the design competition, and as a result of extensive community engagement and collaboration among public and private partners, River First was born. River First will transform the 5.5 miles of the upper Mississippi River that are not parkland. It will provide interconnected riverfront parks, riverfront trail loops, critical habitat, and much-needed riverfront recreational access to neighborhoods and residents in the North and Northeast Minneapolis areas. To tell you more about the need for riverfront access in North and Northeast Minneapolis, I'm going to turn this over to Jane Miller, Superintendent of the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board.
River First continues the legacy and vision of the Minneapolis Park System. The Park Board currently owns and manages the shoreline of almost every lake and creek in our city, and much of the Mississippi riverfront from downtown Minneapolis to St. Paul. The vision to acquire parkland along the city's water bodies, to protect them and ensure public access to these great resources began in the late 1800s. In the early 1900s, the Grand Rounds was envisioned, connecting parks and parkways that wind around the city, providing public access to the city's wonders. Today, Minnehaha Falls, the chain of lakes, Worth Park, and Victory Memorial Drive attract millions of visits every year. But the lakes and water access so popular in South and Southwest Minneapolis do not exist in North and Northeast Minneapolis. What does exist is the 5.5 miles of the Mississippi River, the greatest river in North America, and one we fondly refer to as America's fourth coast. It is critical that we provide river access and riverfront recreational opportunities to residents in North and Northeast Minneapolis, in the same manner that we provide lake access and lakefront recreational opportunities in South and Southwest Minneapolis. Equitable access to our city's greatest resources, our parks, our lakes, and our rivers, will benefit all. Developing a robust network of continuous regional parks and trails along the river will serve nearby communities and attract visitors from around the region and the country. The upper riverfront is the sole missing piece of the Grand Rounds and the magnificent network of connected parkland. And I am deeply grateful to General Mills and their investment of $3 million in our River First initiative. Now I'd like to introduce one of our other key partners from the City of Minneapolis, Mayor Betsy Hodges.
Well, at least once a century, General Mills transforms the river. At least once a century, General Mills comes forward, makes investments on the Mississippi River, makes investments in the city of Minneapolis that build and grow our city, that show people who love our city how great we are, and makes us an even more lovable place. And for a company whose mission is to serve the world by making food that people love, they can do it in no better place than here in Minnesota, and they honor that mission in no better way than by investing right here on the Mississippi River and helping us create the connections we need to all communities in the city of Minneapolis, to our water, to our parks, and to one another. Because our open space helps facilitate relationships with nature, but it helps facilitate relationships with one another. And as we grow and as we prosper as a city, as we become even greater than we are, our natural space, our park space, and the connections to them are a key part of how we are going to succeed in the 21st century. So a huge thank you to General Mills, to Ken and to Kim, to the foundation, to the Parks Foundation, and to the Park and Recreation Board and its leadership. The vision you have in River First, the work you've done to plan it out, to make it real, to create something that people can invest in, and then to go out and do that hard work, but that necessary work of making it real and bringing those investments and finding incredible partners like General Mills. That is worthy work. That changes a city, that changes people's lives. So thank you to everybody who's participating in this project. I am so excited about what it can be looking forward. And just because and I said earlier, General Mills transforms the river at least once a century. But it's only 2016. We have many, many more years together of partnership on this river. But this will be transformative for Minneapolis. Thank you, General Mills. Thank you to the parks. Away we go.
Thank you, Superintendent Miller, President Walensky, Kim Nelson, Ken Powell, all rails, and visitors. Thank you so much for coming and helping us celebrate. There are many other elected officials here. We are sorry if we did not recognize, I believe, City Council Member Jacob Fry is here. Thank you for coming. Somebody from Representative Ellison's office is here as well. Thank you. And there may be delegates from the Minneapolis delegation who are here. So thank you all. This is a team effort, and we really appreciate it. And we really appreciate the generous gift. If you want to take photos or get video of Waterworks afterwards, you can see myself. Jeanette here can help as well. Jeanette Law, if you want to raise your hand. We have packets, and also we can walk you down and show you the space of Waterworks. We're also happy to do tours up at the 26th at a different time too, so please let us know. And we also invite you all to stay and have some cake made with General Mills' very own gold medal flour. So thank you all so much. We look forward to working with you on this big project.